Okay, so I really need to get better at taking videos on a somewhat regular basis. I know that I really want to, you know, make this a thing if possible and really support, you know, my future by growing a community that understands the importance of coming together, the importance of fighting for social justice, for fighting for positive change, uh, creating a community that understands the implications of just having basic grounding skills and basic coping mechanisms that you teach or get taught in a therapy session, things like that, because I don't think that therapy should be expensive. I mean, I think that therapists deserve to get paid because it's a lot of work. We love it and we wouldn't do anything else. So we deserve to get paid, but a client should not have to pay an arm and a leg and then feel like they have to skip a meal or that they can't afford to pay their bills or, whatever the case may be. They should not have to choose between their mental well-being and their physical well-being, right? I want them to have access to care that helps them develop these skills, and I want to do it in a way so that it causes as little stress as possible, because I understand, as somebody who is a therapist, a therapist in training, I guess you would say, and somebody who's had therapists before, somebody who's been the client in those sessions, sometimes I'm like, damn, I really have a lot that I could talk about in this session this week, but I can't afford to go because, yeah, it's only $20, but, when you don't have much to begin with, that $20 is, like excruciatingly painful to just give to someone else, whether it's helping me in some fashion or not. It's like, that's the only money I had, and now I don't have money for food. I don't have money to act as a buffer if, an unexpected bill comes and, all of that. So that is my intention, and that is my hope for this channel. And I really don't know what direction to take it in because, I could talk about all these actions we could take to better the society we live in. So I could take it in the social justice direction. I could talk about coping skills. I could, kind of do a positive message every day, because we all need that little pick-me-up sometimes. I could share my wisdom, and I just don't know what direction to go in, so that's part of my difficulty, but yeah, I think what I will do is I'll just kind of go in all those directions until I really get some foundation. And then if people would like me to talk about specific things, that's what we'll do. And so I think this week, I just want to talk about a conversation I had with somebody around supporting individuals and more specifically supporting them in, finding God. So my friend, who I've been friends with now for, I'd say way more than 4 years. Let's just say 5 years, because I can't really do the math right now. My friend that I've known for like 5 years, he is a believer, and to be honest, I am on my own journey right now of trying to figure out what I believe and what I don't believe and kind of where I fall into this whole realm of things. But I've always believed in being supportive and keeping an open mind. And so, as I tell you the story, I want you to try to keep those two things in mind as well. But we were talking about, how one shares the message of God with others. And I was like, yeah, I hear that in church it's really important, and we're kind of, we're encouraged to share the Word of God. And I also know, as somebody who grew up not always having a faith to believe in, it felt like it was being forced on me, which kind of gave me a negative taste of all religions, And so, I wondered, how do you do this? How do you share the Word of God without leaving a negative feeling, behind? Because the intention is not to, it's not to leave somebody feeling like, wow, I really hated that experience, I feel like from what I've seen, the intention is, hey, I care about you and I want you to have the same connection, the same fulfillment, the same love and compassion that I am feeling towards my God. I want you to experience that, because for them it is this feeling of pure joy, this feeling of trust, this feeling of, being closer to wholeness, And I think that, honestly, we all search for that in one way or another, Whether it's relationships with, significant others, whether it's trying to repair relationships with your parents, whether it's religion, whether it's finding a community we belong in, whether it's whatever it is. I think at one point or another we all have wanted those elements in our life. Now, maybe that doesn't look like God for you. Maybe that looks like, really feeling like you have a purpose, really giving back to your community, whatever it is. I think we can all agree that those are things we want in our life. Those are things we want to feel. And so I think when people share the Word of God that's what they're hoping to get across. But how do you do it in a way that feels appropriate, authentic, and in a way that gets delivered as intended? And what I realized, at least for me, is I think what's important when we're doing that is we don't lose track of the individual. And by that I mean, we all, when we have a goal in mind and we want to help this person, sometimes we can be so focused on the finish line and getting them to that finish line that we forget about the person. It's almost like we leave them behind in the process. And then when you realize, you're like, oh, that person wasn't following me. That person is still way back there and I left them behind. Because instead of being focused on the individual and where they are currently in their journey or in their life, because we all have things going on in life, instead of focusing on that and just being present and, kind of listening to them and meeting them where they're at, we focus on, the end goal, the finish line, the this, the that. And I think if I could give anyone advice, it's when you're helping someone, whether it's yourself or someone else, take some time, realize what your goal is. Write it down, write down steps, whatever it is. But also realize where you are, realize where they are, and ask yourself, how can I meet them where they're at, right? Because if you don't meet them where they're at, they're not going to feel supported. They're going to feel left behind. They're going to feel misunderstood. They're going to feel rushed. They're going to feel all the things we're not intending them to feel. So, how can I meet them where they're at? How can I validate and listen to them and their experiences? And how can I just, take it one step at a time? Because if you take it one step at a time, you're going to get to the destination, right? I don't think that it should always be about getting to the destination quickly, right? I think the wonder in all of this is getting to the destination. And as long as you get there, isn't that all that matters? So that is my little spiel for the day. And yeah, I guess I will just kind of try to make these, write these, share these and see where they lead us. And if you're at all curious, yes, there's 2 holes in my ceiling. The property manager and maintenance guy haven't fixed it, and it's been like that for months. But you know what? That's okay. Anyway, take what I said to heart. Really, see how it sits for you. And feel free to ask me questions. Can't promise that I have the answer, but we might get a really cool conversation out of it.